Hey guys, welcome back. The title of this video is going to be four things to consider when buying a house in 2025. Now, I just recorded this whole video and I had a title, 4 reasons not to buy a house in 2025. So I'm changing the title because that was a little too negative. I don't want to be a doom and gloomer. So anyways, I'll continue the video and enjoy. Now, if you've been positioning yourself to buy a home because maybe you want to upgrade your family or you're looking to start or grow a family, I encourage you to go ahead and buy a house. If you've positioned yourself properly, right? Maybe you've got a good high income, dual income, whatever it is, if you've positioned yourself to buy your dream home and you found it, you go for it. You get it, honestly. Like, I'm not going to discourage that. I'm not going to be a doom and gloomer. It can be done, no doubt, right? But if you're on the fence and you're unsure of things, right? Maybe you're not confident in your job, or maybe you don't have as much cash as you think you do, or you think you need. These are some things to consider, right? It doesn't mean you don't have to go through with it, but these are things to consider, okay? Number 1, price, right? We all know prices on houses are way higher than what they probably should be, to be honest, right? Wages have not kept up where the inflation of homes have gone to, right? They've gone to the moon, and it's a bit ridiculous if you ask me. I've never been a person who believes a home is an investment. I'm just not that person. I read a book a while back called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he talks about this. Houses that you live in are liabilities. They're not assets. They don't bring in income. So I think of a house, the one I live in, as a liability. I don't think of it as an investment, okay? I'm not here to flip houses that I live in. That's not my vibe. That can be you. That's cool, but that's not me, okay? That's my opinion, all right? I'm not a financial professional. I can't tell you what to do, when to do it, how to do it, but these are my opinions, okay? So price is the number 1 factor you need to consider, okay? That's gonna dictate definitely which house you can buy, and there's all sorts out there, right? So keep that in mind, price. And the reason why is for my next 2 factors that have a big impact when it comes to price, all right? Number 2, property taxes, all right? If you don't know, property taxes, they increase every year, typically, because homes, for some reason, continue to go up. We know that. It's kind of based on inflation and all that. But property taxes, you got to consider that. A lot of people overlook it, but don't, all right? And a lot of people get surprised when they see their property taxes. And why is that? Well, they see information on Realtor.com or Zillow with an estimated property taxes. And you know what that's based on? It's based on information they're not fully aware of, all right? They don't know exactly what the person's property taxes are going to be. When you purchase a house, it goes uncapped. The cap gets reset, essentially. Okay, sorry, not uncapped. The cap gets reset when you buy a property, okay? What the cap is based on the previous homeowner, when they bought the house, property taxes cannot be, assessments cannot be increased at a certain rate year over year, right? All right, so property taxes are real tricky. So keep that in mind when you're gonna buy a house, all right? Budget for it. That's real important, all right? And if valuations increase a ton, your property taxes are gonna go up, all right? So be aware of that. Number 3, homeowners insurance, guys. Homeowners insurance is out of control. It really is, all right? You might as well assume that if you buy a house, your homeowner's insurance is gonna go up 10 to 20% each year. You should just assume that and go with that and budget for that. So be aware of that and just plan for it, okay? If you're gonna do it, it's something to consider in 2025 and beyond, okay? We've got all these natural disasters, hurricanes, floods, fires, earthquakes. I hope we don't have one. Please don't have an earthquake. And they affect everybody's rates. The insurance companies are spreading those costs across the board. They're going to increase everyone's premiums so that they can satisfy the need, right, to rebuild or fix whatever, okay? So be aware of that when you're buying a home, when you're looking, all right? Get some quotes. You know, go out and get 5 or 6 quotes from insurance companies, okay? So that's reason number 3. And then reason number 4 is interest rates, guys. Interest rates are still relatively elevated. I don't know what they are right now. They're like between 5 and 7%, right? Probably 6 to 7 nowadays. Rates are going to dictate prices of houses in the near future, okay? And here's the thing. We got these new tariffs that just came out last weekend between Canada and the United States and Mexico, right? So inflation expectations are going to rise. And when that happens, the Federal Reserve, they get hawkish, all right? Or they get concerned about inflation coming back up, all right? And if inflation comes back up, they might raise rates, guys. They might raise them, and that's going to put more headwinds against prices of houses. You want the price of houses to drop. You want them to drop. You know, like I said, I don't care about my house being an investment. I could care less if my house price drops. I don't care, right? I planned for my house payment in the way I did, all right? And that's the way you should be too. So I want prices to fall so that people can get into houses. Sorry for all you people out there trying to sell. It is what it is, but you know, these prices are ridiculous. They're unsustainable, to be honest, all right? So hopefully they drop a little bit for you guys so that you guys can raise a family and build your dream, okay? But yeah, that's a headwind that you got to pay attention to. So if you see inflation spiking up, don't be surprised if rates go up and house prices go down. Now that'll level off those inflation numbers. They might kind of flatten the whole thing out, so we might hold steady for a while, right? But you want to see housing prices start to drop, and now, you know, maybe it might take a couple years, but maybe it's 2 years, something like that. Maybe you see a nice 10%, 15% drop in housing prices. That would be nice. Now you'd be in a better position, right? This is what people do in the stock market, guys. They look at headwinds and tailwinds for companies before they buy or sell a stock, right? And, you know, that's kind of how, you know, you might want to look at houses too. Like, you know, buying the high is not fun. Now, if you can afford it, like I said, go for it. You know, don't stop. Don't let this video stop you. It's just things to consider, to be honest, right? It's not a doom and gloom. There's nothing wrong if house prices go down 15%. There's nothing wrong with that, guys. It doesn't mean we're going to have a crash like in 2008. I don't believe that at all. I think we have a fairly strong economy. That's why inflation's sticky right now, okay? And so that's kind of good news about your job, right? But if you see a lot of jobs getting lost, now you know you might be in a position in a year or two to buy a house, right? You kind of want some job losses because that way people start selling their homes and they start lowering their prices to get out of those positions, all right? Now, I don't want anyone to lose their job. I'm not saying that, but if you're in the market to buy a house, you kind of want it. You kind of want a mini recession, maybe a small one, right? To get that, you know, 10 to 15%, because affordability is difficult with houses. It honestly is. And, you know, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist, but maybe that's what the government's trying to do, this new administration. Maybe they want a little bit of a recession to get the prices of houses lower, because that's a big factor in people's vibe in this country, is that they can't afford to go out and buy a house, okay? So these are just things to consider. My 4 reasons: price, property taxes, insurance, and rates. I know it's a complex thing. There's a lot of factors there, but hopefully this helps you guys consider and weigh those factors out. Budget for them if you are going to go out and buy a house. And yeah, if you guys could take a look at my previous video, and everyone have a great day. Thanks. Bye.